Guys, it's the middle of August, and right now we're ramping up for the season. Here in Minnesota, the season starts in just under a month. Around the Midwest, archery seasons are going to start popping up state by state. So we're getting pretty excited. Today, I'm going to dive into a bunch of different types of Afflictor Broadheads, show you the different types and the features that each of them have that set them apart from each other just a little bit, and hopefully you can dive into their website and choose which one is best for you.
All right, to start off, we're going to start talking about the mechanical or hybrid broadheads that Afflictor offers. There's 4 types that we're looking at. They have a lot of similarities, so what I'm going to do first is talk about what they all have. Okay, this first broadhead, this is going to be their K2 hybrid. This is, like I've said before, their bread and butter. This is the first one that I ever shot from Afflictor. It is a 1 3/4 inch cut. Besides that, what I'm going to show you is a lot of these broadheads, or all of these broadheads, work exactly the same way as far as how they're deployed and what they have for features for the most part. So each broadhead has a beefier tip, or a more of a stout tip, with which, you know, doesn't look like anything else that you've seen out there in the market. It looks pretty bulky, but man, is that thing tough and mean, and it's that leading edge that'll get you through, you know, in my opinion, a little more bone, a little more tough, tough to manage hits and things like that. So they all have a beefier tip. There's 2 different types that we'll get into, but they start with that. Each of them have this drive key setup with these bleeder blades. So what happens is that target is hit, you push down on those, and it deploys the blades. Okay, they all have those. Again, they're bleeder blades, but also the drive key that triggers the broadhead to be deployed. Okay, another big feature that I've always liked about these broadheads is the fact that once they're deployed, they don't go back in on their own. Okay, a lot of mechanical broadheads, they are rear deploying just like this. It deploys from the rear, but once that broadhead stops moving into the target, the forward momentum is what keeps those blades on other broadheads deployed. So once they come to a stop, whether it be out of the animal or in the animal, their cutting is done. Those blades just flop around, and that is not the case with Afflictor. So once those are deployed, I can't make those blades go back in, okay, until I use the drive key. So what that's going to do is, if you have a unfortunate incident where you don't get a full pass through, those blades will continue to cut and continue to do what they're designed to do, and that's cut the animal and put them down as quickly as possible. All right, the last thing that they all have when it comes to these hybrid heads is they have the ability to turn themselves into a target head, meaning that you can shoot this at your targets without having to use a simulated practice broadhead. You get to shoot the real deal out of your bow at a practice target. So how they do that is they have this hole in the ferrule, and each package comes with this inside of it. And if you look in there, there are these plastic little pegs. And what you do is you take that peg and you put it right into that circle on the ferrule, and that prevents the drive key from going down and prevents the blades from opening. So what that does is it protects your target. Obviously, you're not going to shred your target after shooting a bunch of big old broadheads through it, but you're also protecting your broadhead, so it won't deploy. All that's going to be going into the target is that leading edge. It's going to protect those blades for the most part. I wouldn't shoot it 100 times, then go out and take it after a deer, but it gives you that confidence that you're going to be able to shoot your actual broadhead at a target, where most mechanicals, if you shot that broadhead at a target, it's going to shred your target and probably break your broadhead. So again, all of these broadheads have those features standard. The first one I'm going to be talking about is the K2 hybrid. That's the one I just had in my hand. This is a 1 3/4 inch cutting diameter. And again, this is the first one that I ever shot from Afflictor, and it works great. It's got a 1 3/4 inch cutting diameter. It's a big old cut with those bleeder blades and that front K2 tip. So it's called a K2, and you'll sense a theme here with the rest of the broadheads, is they name their broadheads based usually on what the tip is. Okay, so that one's going to have a more aggressive angle than some of their other broadheads, so it's a little steeper. So if you're shooting a bow that's a little bit faster, or looking for a bigger cut, this is a great option. It works very well. Next up, I'll be comparing this K2 hybrid to the K2 Mini. Same exact program here, just on a smaller package. So the same blade angle, same K2 tip. It's just going to be a shorter ferrule and a smaller cutting diameter. So 1 3/4 on the regular, down to 1.5 inches. This is a 100 grain head. But again, same program, just in a smaller package, which is kind of a cool deal. So you have an option there. So a couple people that might be interested in something like this one with a smaller cutting diameter. There's people that are maybe shooting a lower poundage bow, or maybe they're just looking for increased penetration. Obviously, if you have a smaller cutting diameter, that's going to have less resistance, therefore getting you more penetration in most circumstances. Another thing that, this isn't from Afflictor's website, but if you pack, the same amount of weight into a smaller package, in my mind, it's going to be a stronger setup. So yeah, the cutting diameter is a little bit smaller, but you might be having a little bit of a stronger setup. Again, that's just in my opinion. And then again, smaller cutting diameter, increased penetration. So if you're looking for more in penetration, or you're somebody that's shooting a low poundage bow that doesn't want to shoot such a big cut, this is a great option. So this one comes in green. K2 Mini, 1.5" cut, same drive key, same everything, just in a smaller package. The next one we're going to talk about, this is recently renamed. This is the Hybrid X. I actually shot a doe with one of these last year. It's very similar looking to that K2 head. You'll notice one difference is the tip on it. This has what's called their EXT head, which is a little bit more swept back, a little less aggressive as a leading edge, so that you'll see that tip's a little bit elongated, but it's more swept back, and in my mind that would result in perhaps a little bit more penetration. Again, this is just my analysis in my head, but aside from that, it's the same exact blades on them. It's just that tip that is the difference. These are both, again, 100 grain heads, same drive key, same everything. It's just going to have that different tip on it, that EXT tip. There we have it. It's just going to have that EXT tip. Okay, this one comes in kind of a goldish bronze color. This is the Hybrid X. All right. Now, same thing with when we were talking about the K2 and the K2 Mini. This one comes with a little brother version, or little sister, I'm not sure. It comes in purple. This is the Hybrid X Mini, or Mini Hybrid X. I'm not sure which way they have it, but again, this was just rebranded. This used to be labeled as their Ultraviolet. But again, same type of setup with that EXT tip, just some shorter blades, shorter ferrule, still 100 grain head, and this is a cool little broadhead. As a Vikings fan, I'm kind of partial to it. But again, same process, same everything. It's just going to be in a smaller package and comes in purple. So again, people that are looking at shooting a lower poundage bow or looking for more penetration, this is a great option. So you've got again 1.75 inches, 1.5 inches. So you're just a 1/4 inch difference there. But again, they're set up the same exact way. All right, so that wraps up the segment on these 4 hybrid broadheads from Afflictor. Now we're going to jump over and talk about a couple different types of their fixed blade broadheads. Jumping into some fixed blades here. The first one we're going to talk about is the K2 fixed. It's going to have that K2 tip, obvious by the name. Obviously a fixed blade, so it is in a fixed position. There's no mechanical, or there's nothing to trigger this blade. This is how they fly, and this is how they hit the target. Okay, this K2 fixed has a 1 1/8 inch cutting diameter on the main blades, and then a 1 inch cutting diameter on these bleeder blades. So you've got a big old broadhead with a lot of cutting area on there, which I love. All right. One thing I also like about shooting this fixed blade versus a mechanical, and again, this is my broadhead of choice, you get thicker metal on these blades. The main blades have a 0.053 inch piece of metal on them, and these bleeder blades are actually a little bit thicker at 0.059, which is pretty beefy in the broadhead world. So again, K2 tip, 1 1/8 inch cut here, with a 1 inch cut on the bleeder blade, leaving a whole big old path of destruction. I shot my buck last year with this head, and it looked like it had been shot with a shotgun slug. So a huge fan of this head. Okay. The other one is the fixed EXT. So EXT tip, again, that more swept back, going right into the blades at that same angle. So again, if you're looking for a little more penetration, in my mind, this is going to have a little bit less resistance as far as comparing it to a steeper cutting K2. And then it's got bleeder blades on it as well that aren't quite as big. The cutting diameter on the main blades is 1 1/4 inch on the EXT, and then 11/16. I just had to peek there, 11/16 on these bleeder blades. So again, a lot of cutting surface, still with that beefy tip. It's the EXT tip on this one. Give you a little look at how that would look coming at a deer. But again, I'm a big fan of this one as well. And this year, I'm not quite certain on which one I'll be using. I do know for sure that I plan on bumping up personally to the HDs, which is basically the same exact head with the K2 fixed HD, but it's 125 grain. So they offer both of these two heads in 125 grain. And according to their website, this one, the K2, is going to be offered in 150 grains in the near future.
Thanks for watching, guys. Check out www.afflictorbroadheads.com for more information and specs and all that good stuff on the broadheads I just gave you a quick overview on. We're looking forward to launching a few at deer in the very near future. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram. If you look really closely somewhere up in this corner of the screen, in here, somewhere, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Good luck this fall. If you have some success, be sure to send in pictures. We love posting those up. And good luck out there.